Hey guys, how's it going? It's Nick, and I finally took the time to record some buried gameplay, but I'm not going to be focusing on that right now, because as you can see from the title, I have made a theory on what I think the next DLC for Black Ops 2 might be. So, for Black Ops 1, we had a all-out zombies map, Resurrection, that had 5 zombie maps, Moon, and the maps from World at War. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like that again for this next DLC that comes out next month. And for the trailer, the intro for Buried, if you play in solo, I'm going to show some pictures in a little bit, but what I think the next DLC may be about, possibly, might be, it could be what the survivors have been up to while they were getting from Die Rise over to Buried, or where Buried takes place, the primary place, or something like that. And yeah, because in the little sequence, they show 4 places with the survivors, and I feel like those 4 places could be the additional maps. And then there'd be like one big conclusion map. I mean, I know Buried seemed like a conclusion, but maybe there's more, you know? I don't know. There could be, but we'll just have to see to wait and find out. But as of right now, I've developed this little theory of what those 4 other maps, if we do get an all-out Zombies DLC, I'm not saying we will, but if we do, these are my suggestions on what they might be. So, in this first picture, we see, well, we don't see our survivors, but they are walking through what looks to be Egypt, because you can see the pharaoh and pyramids in the background. So there might be like a kind of desert Egyptian map, Egyptian ruins. We also see the survivors on, it doesn't look like the bus from Transit, but it looks more like an RV, so maybe we're gonna see something like that again with our bus driver. We also see our characters fighting in more of like looks like a city, kind of like Die Rise, except it doesn't look like they're on the rooftops. It looks like they're actually on the ground. So maybe like a kind of city map. And then we see our characters fighting in a flooded city, kind of like the one mission from the campaign. I don't remember what it's called, but it does look like it resembles that. So, that's why I'm thinking they could be there too. So those are 4 places where we saw our survivors. And another theory that could also potentially be true, maybe the extra 4 maps, if we get a Zombies DLC. Like, each map would be a kind of it'll like tell you the story of each of our survivors. Like, one map will be dedicated to Marlton, the next for Misty, the next for Russman, and the next for Samuel. And we'll get more of a backstory on the survivors and where they came from and how they came to meet and how they became acquainted, and just more about like their personalities and just their backstory, because there are a lot of things that we haven't been told yet. We know more about Russman, but, you know, they threw a little extra something at us with the incident. So, we know more about him. We know, like, his character, like, a little bit more of his background. But there is still more to learn. Misty, we don't know a lot about her. We don't, I don't know, it just seems like all of these characters should have some sort of interesting sort of backstory. Like, especially Marlton, because he was in the Nuketown Fallout shelter and all that good stuff. Samuel definitely, because he was involved with the group of people, the Flesh, that, you know, ate zombies, so resorted to cannibalism in order to survive. And it does seem strange how all these characters are so different, but they all meet up in one place. So it does seem strange, but hopefully we do get more answers in another DLC. I am fairly certain that the old characters are not going to be returning as playable characters, but instead as, like, kind of like how Richtofen returned. How you can, like, hear his voice, but he's not, like, playable, you know? So maybe that'll be the case with Dempsey, Takio, and Nikolai, or, you know, something along those lines, because I want to know more about these characters that we're playing as now, Marlton, Misty, Samuel, and Russman. And I also want to know what happened to Dempsey and Nikolai and Takio. And Samantha, I guess we already know about Samantha. But hey, there's always more to the story. So, what do you guys think? Do you think that this theory is plausible? Do you think that there might just be a DLC that explains the player's whereabouts between Die Rise and Buried? Do you think that these 4 maps will kind of give more of a backstory on these characters and how they came to meet in the same place? Leave your comments below. I know this theory is a little, like, it's not, like, completely supported. It's not all factual. It's not at all thought through. But hey, until I get a little more information and I think about it a little more, then I'll come back with a more, like, solid kind of theory. But until I do, I'm going to keep thinking about it. But until I figure out another theory, I'll leave a comment below on what you think we might be seeing in the next DLC. And thank you for watching, and I will see you later.